Jones here. We are at the 2017 Denver Sportsman's Expo, and I'm on site with Kevin Molick, owner and founder of Timberleaf Camping Trailers. And Kevin, it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you, Andy.
Awesome. You know, I'm really blown away by just the quality and the features of these camping trailers. I'd love to know just a little bit about Timberleaf and what it is you guys are doing, how long you've been at it.
I started this as a passion about 1 year ago, literally. It was just something I just couldn't think enough about. And I decided I could build a teardrop trailer as good as, if not better, than anybody else out there. I think I've hit the home run because basically I've gotten a huge response all over the country and all over the world. The overall plan of the teardrop is to be extremely efficient. So we've really strived to make a big cabin and a really functional galley. So this is the galley. There's a cooler. We offer a cooler option, a stove, a full countertop, a sink, and plenty of little nooks to store all your product. My background is custom cabinetry and furniture with construction too, and I knew from the onset that I wanted to build the highest quality product we could while maintaining the aesthetics. So you can see some of the things that are here. This is a Baltic birch dovetail joinery, and it's not just for looks. This is truly an extremely strong drawer. This basically is a custom cooler. So this cooler is rivaling all the high-end coolers you can imagine, and yet it serves as a countertop too. That's what we like about it a lot.
It's phenomenal, and I love how far it comes out, and yet you keep everything really compact. I think it's just a nice structure.
It's very efficient.
Can you tell me a little bit about not just the sink, but the water system as a whole and how that functions in the trailer?
So we have a 12-gallon tank on board. So the fresh water goes underneath the mattress in the front as opposed to in the galley. So typically you'll see the tanks in the galley, and that's valuable space to me. In other words, every inch counts in this galley. So we put the tank underneath the mattress. It's pumped via a hose into a tiny little pump under the sink cabinet. And then, as you can see, we use a very small little sink. This sink is not your typical sink, as I said before. It's a sink that we've sourced out from a restaurant supply to take up minimal amount of counter space. Same with this little faucet. It's taken us a long time to find this neat little faucet because it has a really sturdy retro look, and it works, I mean, we think just perfectly.
You know, one of the things that really stands out to me, Kevin, is this wood.
Everything you see is made of Baltic birch. Baltic birch is a Russian birch plywood. Every bit of this wood that you see is solid birch. It's not like a typical, even a cabinet grade hardwood. All these little veneers here are actually solid birch. So it makes it just much more substantial, a lot stronger than standard woods that you see commercially.
One thing you see a lot of trailer manufacturers focusing on is their power system, and so I'd love to know what you guys have put together here and what your thought was behind all of it.
Well, it all starts at the 12-volt deep cell battery that we have. And it's not just a typical 12-volt deep cell, it's a 12-volt AGM battery.
Okay.
The difference is, and most people don't realize this, but an AGM battery is a foolproof, maintenance-free battery, meaning that you don't have to check the fluid levels every so often. It's tucked away way back behind this, but basically the only time you'll ever need to get to it is when it's finally dead and you replace it. Mm-hmm. So the battery supplies all the power for all the lights. There's 7 lights on board. There's a fan. There's a pump. And all that is operated just from that 12-volt battery. On the other side over here, we have 110 volt. Okay, so the 110 volt is only accessible or usable when you're in camp. Mm-hmm. So when you're at camp, then you'll have 110 volt power, just like your home power.
Sure.
So basically, our 12 volt is, we have USB ports here for charging. We have an accessory port for running accessories like a coffee pot or something like that. And we have the same configuration here. We have USB ports in the galley as well, and then we also have a 110 volt outlet in the cabin.
So can you tell me a little bit too about the hatch? You know, I'm noticing the woodwork here, and it's just beautiful.
I think what we largely pride ourselves on is not just function, but fit and finish. In other words, this side wood right here is alder wood. This is the birch. But if you look and feel, for instance, if you could feel this, there's no differentiation between the two. It's furniture quality joinery. And it's put on with waterproof glue everywhere we do. We use waterproof glue. So again, it's not just a pretty piece of furniture. It's something that will last many, many years.
Yeah, and you know, now that we're looking up here too, I'm noticing this latch, and this is a little bit. This is a little bit different from what I can tell than kind of your standard hatch latch.
Standard latch on an RV, a truck latch, or a teardrop is just a flat bar right here. I've sourced this kind of a lock from a marine supplier. This hatch lock is made to keep hatches on top of ships and boats and things like that waterproof.
Oh wow.
So basically this lock locks like this, and then when we push down on this, it's just a little detail, but this thing clamps against the latch. So basically it squeezes it even tighter against this rubber molding. So it just makes it a lot more waterproof.
That's wonderful. What a great feature.
It is. It's a really awesome detail.
Let's work around the side, and so I'm noticing the table here too. I think this is a really nice addition, and this I would assume comes off.
Oh yeah. In fact, it's pretty simple. Take that off. So basically, this is how it comes off. I mean, as easy as that. So basically, when we put it back on, it's just that easy.
It's nice and solid. So that's cool.
It's just a supplemental shelf for little things when you're camping.
Sure. So why don't we look inside? I'd love to learn a little bit more about the cabinet.
Well, again, you can see everything in here is the same Baltic birch finish. Again, we have a unique contrast that's unlike almost anybody else's. We use solid wood alder around the Skylight, and then birch is the main body for all the other wood. Our Skylight is truly one of the most unique parts about our trailer. Our trailer has a curved skylight that we have custom fabricated to match the curvature of our teardrop trailer. It is a huge skylight. If you take a look at it, it feels like you're outdoors.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We also include a shade. So the shade comes with skylight, but you need that for privacy as well as shielding yourself from the sun.
That's awesome. You know, one of the other things that just stands out to me kind of in comparison to other teardrops I've seen is you've got 2 doors and 2 windows. I think that gives you a lot of natural light, which seems really nice.
Right, we're real proud of that. That's standard. We don't option out 1 door and 1 window. Every single trailer we do has 2 doors, 2 windows, and the skylight. It just gives you a feeling of openness so that you don't feel claustrophobic. You can see that the cabinetry we use in here is all alder as well. It's a Nordic rustic alder, but I think it lends itself to the style of the teardrop. It contrasts really nicely, I think, with the light birch. Everything we use is real birch. In other words, it's not a laminate, it's not formica, it's not melamine.
You know, another really unique thing that's just standing out to me are these window shades.
We've taken a long time to find a manufacturer that can make a shade that looks neat when it's closed and looks nice when it's open. So basically they just collapse like that, but they work really nicely.
That's great. Here, let's pop outside and move up to the front. So tell me a little bit about this box up here too. I love the diamond plate. I think it really is complementary to the camper. Is this an add-on feature?
It is, but unlike anybody else's, we actually have these boxes made specifically for our trailer. So we want it to look like it belongs to the trailer. So the angles match. It just gives you another 7.5 cubic feet of storage for things like firewood or wet gear or whatever. But it's just, I mean, a lot of people like this a lot. The trailer weighs in 1,400 pounds, so we basically tow it with our own Subaru Outback.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it has absolutely no problem at all.
That's great.
All the details what we've chosen are very unique to the industry. For instance, littlest things like this. We use a black outlet with a stainless steel cover. We use stainless steel throughout all this because these little details I think matter a lot because this is such a small compact space that It would just look tacky if you put a white outlet and a brown switchblade cover or whatever. Here's another example that's something that I've become obsessed with. There's a lot of things on this trailer I've become obsessed with. The laminate detail. I've searched really hard to find this retro boomerang style that was so prevalent back in the 50s and 60s, including, I don't know if you can see it, but even this little aluminum edge with the detailing on it. Very difficult to find that stuff, but there's just something that was important to me. Like this porch light, this is not at all typical porch light for a teardrop trailer. It has that elliptical shape. The standard porch light is just a rectangular shaped light. In other words, this one has that elliptical shape that mimics the teardrop shape of the trailer. Other things like my fender here matches the width of my tire. Most fenders hang over the tire about 2 inches. Again, it was just one of those things I obsessed about. You know, it was important to me.
You know, one of the other things that stands out to me is just the interior cabin size. The bed itself seems really large for a teardrop.
It is. I've worked long and hard to make this into an actual queen-size length bed. So it is truly 80 inches long. That truly is a queen-size bed. In fact, how tall are you?
I'm 6'7".
Try it.
All right, I'm going to get it.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of room. I'm 6'4". My wife and I sleep in this all the time. I have absolutely no problem at all.
Great. Now we've got this overview, and I feel like I've got all the information. I think I'm just going to stay in here for a while, if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you in a bit.